Hello and welcome to the ScatterVolt channel, and today I want to bring you guys what I think are the best graphics cards to buy in the month of November. If you want a quick answer as to which graphics cards to purchase and which ones to stay away from, especially in the advent of Black Friday and Cyber Monday coming up, then don't worry, I'll provide you guys those quick answers in this video, as well as have them all linked in the description below if you just want to quickly check them out. But I still want to make this an informative but also hopefully fun video that'll dissect each of these graphics card choices to hopefully let you guys make the smartest choice on what graphics card would be right for your kind of system or your next gaming PC you're looking at building, maybe around the Christmas holiday season. So like I said, all of these graphics card choices I'll be discussing will be linked in the description below, and I don't have much more to say other than here's a quick word from our sponsor. The Cooler Master Qube 500 Flatpack is easily one of the most unique PC cases I've ever worked with, considering that it comes disassembled, meaning you have to build it from the ground up before you use it. But don't worry, due to this case's design, there's a lot of flexibility and versatility when it comes to mounting certain items inside this case. Whether you want to go with a full-sized eATX motherboard down to an ITX motherboard, or if you want to go with a vertical or a regular GPU mount, or even if you want to throw on fans and a radiator on the bottom, front, top, and even side of this PC case, the Qube 500 has plenty of options to work with to make this case the most personalized for you, which includes its various different color combinations to once again personalize this case to your liking. And on top of all of that, little miniature accessories like the Gem Mini for just those final few touches, and the Qube 500 is a very unique PC case at not too expensive of a price that offers a very unique building experience. So if you want to check out the Qube 500 Flatpack, I'll have a link to it in the description below. Okay, so to kick things off, under $100, you're pretty much screwed. Brand new, there are no good graphics cards within this price range or even just above $100. All you have is the GTX 1630, which is a crime against humanity, so that's a no-go. Then you have the RX 6400, which even if this were $100, it still severely underperforms and needs to be run on a PCI Gen 4.0 compatible system, which I'm willing to bet those of you who have a really cheap gaming PC probably don't have a system that can support that PCI Gen, which means you're gonna really hamper the speeds of this graphics card. So the 6400 is a no-go, and that really leaves the Intel ARC A380, which is the fastest of the bunch. However, once again, you need PCI Gen 4.0 to make the most of this graphics card. It is 6 gigabytes of VRAM. It does come with the AV1 codec, which you can't say the same for the RX 6400, which comes with no hardware decoding. But even this, it's not worth it. You can't find anything good brand new, but I will tell you this in better news. The used market right now is red hot. I'm serious. RX 5000 GPUs are going on severe discounts right now on eBay and Mercari. I like to think because no one's buying them. My two favorite choices for under $100 used is easily gonna have to be either the Radeon RX 5500 XT 8GB graphics card, 8GB of VRAM, nice. 5500 XT is going to be around, I wanna say, a GTX 1660 or even a 1660 Super in terms of performance, but this is going to cost you about $40 less used, which is why I recommend it in this price range. Unless you're able to find the 5600 XT for just under $100, which would be my ultimate pick. Just about the only downside is that it comes with 6 gigabytes of VRAM, which can be a deal breaker, but if you're spending under $100 up for a graphics card, I think that's nothing to complain about. And this is going to be faster than an RTX 2060. And RTX 2060s right now in the used market are about $150 right now, whereas you can maybe get this for right at 100 bucks. So consider one of these two for under $100. I have some better news though. For below $200, there's actually quite a few choices, new and used, you can look into. And there's only one graphics card you absolutely want to stay away from under this price range. That being the RTX 3050. Currently, I think you can get this for $200 right now, but I know with Black Friday and Cyber Monday coming up, you will be able to find these under $200, but you still want to stay away from this graphics card. The 3050 is severely underpowered. I think just about every graphics card to the right of me outperforms this, so you are just wasting money getting the 3050. Nvidia really is lackluster in the lower graphics card range, and yeah, I'm gonna drop the box. Sorry. But what's this other green colored graphics card box you have here? Isn't this from Nvidia? Well, we'll get to that in a moment. Because first I want to cover probably the graphics card many of you are going to be looking at getting under 200 bucks, which is going to be the Radeon RX 6600. Because right now you can get this for $190 on Amazon, which is pretty nice. However, it's probably going to go on discount for below that, maybe at around 180 to potentially 170, which would make this undeniably an extremely good value graphics card. But there's another one that has even better value than that. And that's because I went ahead and purchased a graphics card from AliExpress, and this is basically an RX 6600, but draws less power and could potentially be even slightly faster. And look, it even comes with a white backplate. This is the Radeon RX 6600M that I picked up from AliExpress for $160. This is cheaper than a desktop RX 6600. It potentially might be faster and also might use less wattage. So it just might be a better binned graphics card from the start. Something with the RX 6600M being a mobile GPU just happens to be better on a desktop platform from what I've seen on Tech Yes City's video. So for about $20 less, you're getting nearly the same graphics card, but you're saving yourself a little bit of money, but you have to order this from AliExpress. And I'm gonna go ahead and make a video actually on this exact graphics card because I think it is going to fly super under the radar. But if you wanna order something from AliExpress, which can ship to pretty much anywhere in the world, the 6600M for below $200 is one of the best graphics cards, hands down. But if you're looking for the fastest graphics card for under $200, then you're gonna wanna look no further than a Radeon RX 5700 XT. Now, you can get this in two ways. You can either get it used, which is what I bought recently off of Facebook Marketplace for $150, or you can buy it brand new with a 2-year warranty, like the 6600M here from Soyo, for about $150 as well. So, pick your choice, new or used. Either is gonna be great for your system. And just about the only other graphics card I do want to give a quick mention to is that you can now get an Intel ARC A580 for under $200, but I'm not too crazy about this one because I would only pick this up if it were selling for $150. At its current price of $180, a 5700 XT, a 6600M, or even a 6600 makes more sense for the same price or less. And yes, this needs to go on a discount before I can firmly recommend it, so I would stay away from this unless it goes on the mother of all discounts. But if I had to rank my favorite graphics card choices under $200, I think the 6600M is gonna come in first, with the 5700 XT coming in second, 6600 coming in third, and the rest I'm not too crazy about. Now between $200 to $300, there's actually quite a few options, which is really cool. And there's only one graphics card you want to stay away from for under $300. That being the RTX 3060. I know this graphics card, it has that 12GB VRAM buffer, which may seem really appealing on paper, but the actual graphics card itself, the GPU, the 3060, is still fairly underpowered to where I don't think it'll fully saturate that 12GB VRAM buffer in the way you think it might. So instead, for the same price, what I would get instead would have to be the RX 7600 for about $250. This has now come down in price since its original MSRP, and it is now sitting in a pretty nice sweet spot. It's an RX 7000 GPU, so over its previous generation, it's going to have better ray tracing performance and have support for the AV1 codec for next generation streaming and game recording capabilities. However, if you wanted to save a little bit of money, the Radeon RX 6650 XT is actually going on kind of a nice discount right now. You can currently pick one up for $230 right now on Amazon, which is okay. I would personally jump up to the RX 7600 that I just showed you. However, if you can snag one of these for just about $220 or less, then I think this could be one of the best value graphics cards in this price range because more or less, its performance is just behind an RX 7600, and it doesn't feature the AV1 codec. So if you aren't looking into doing any serious live streaming or game recording, then I think the 6650 XT could be a nice bargain deal if you want to save a little bit of extra cash, but still have an excellent performing graphics card that will do pretty much anything at 1080p, and even some games at 1440p pretty well. Now, the other graphics card I think that many of you are going to be looking at in this price segment is going to have to be the RTX 4060, but this could be a good choice if it receives a good discount, which I'm not too confident in. I would personally get an RTX 4060 if it was on sale for $270 or even $60 or less. That would make this a very well-rounded graphics card, because let's be real, you're only gonna get this for DLSS 3.0, because who would wanna run ray tracing on such a low-end graphics card with an 8GB VRAM buffer? Because for just about a few dollars more, you can get the RX 6700 XT with a 12GB VRAM buffer, and this will be fast enough to fully saturate that VRAM. It'll actually be worth it. This is selling for about $310 right now, and is probably gonna be on sale for $300, which I would personally get this over this. So only get the RTX 4060 if it gets a really nice discount for around $270. To finish out though, we do have the Intel ARC A750. This graphics card, honestly, AMD has been getting some really nice discounts lately on their RX 6000 and 7000 GPUs in this price range, to where the A750 doesn't look like that amazing of a deal as it previously was, like back in the summer. You've got the 6650 XT within $20 of this right now, and you have the RX 7600 within $40 of it right now. So with the A750, unless it goes below $200, I'm honestly not too crazy about it. It's still a solid choice though. It definitely has its advantages over some of these other graphics cards in this price range, but I would only consider it if it's below $200. If it's not, and it's selling for like $220 or $240, don't get it, get one of these two. Now from $300 to $400, this is gonna be for those of you who want fairly undeniable 1440p gaming performance while not breaking the bank, and there's only one graphics card you absolutely do not want to consider. It will go on discount and it will look appealing, but you still shouldn't consider it in my opinion, and that is gonna have to be staying away from the RTX 4060 Ti. Yes, it may have DLSS 3.0, but what it does have is that entry-level 8GB 128-bit memory bus, which is the same as some of the graphics card we found in the previous price bracket from $200 to $300. And seeing that in a graphics card that currently retails for $400 is extremely embarrassing. And in fact, that gimped memory found on this graphics card is going to impact its ray tracing performance, as I found in my 4060 Ti versus RX 6750 XT video right here. Because at the time, the 6750 XT and the 4060 Ti were the same price, but now in December of 2023, you can get the RX 6800 for the same price as an RTX 4060 Ti. And just to show how much of a staggering difference there is between these two GPUs, like I said, the 4060 Ti has that pretty gimped 8GB 128-bit memory bus, and the RX 6800 here has a 16GB 256-bit memory bus of VRAM located on the graphics card for the same price. You're getting quite literally double the memory for the same price, and that matters in PC gaming. So to recap, if there's any graphics card you should absolutely stay away from, no matter what, it is the 4060 Ti. Do not at all consider it. It's gonna go on discount, like I said, but still, doesn't matter how enticing it looks. If you can get an RX 6800 for about the same price, which I expect it to go on discount because this is eventually going to stop being produced for maybe about $380, then this is gonna be the bargain buy, especially over that. But there's two other graphics cards I do want to give a quick shout out to. One of them, of course, being the RX 6700 XT. This is going to go on sale once again for $300 on the dot, and that is the ideal price for this graphics card. It'll let you do pretty much anything at 1440p. It's Gonna go down as one of the greatest graphics cards ever made for mid-ranged consumer graphics cards. Hopefully I didn't sound redundant there. And I expect its slightly bigger brother, the Radeon RX 6750 XT, to also go on discount. If you can snag this for about $340, then that would put this graphics card in really handy territory. Has the same VRAM, pretty much the same internals as the 6750 XT, but it is clocked a little bit higher. So yes, it does consume more power, but it is a decent amount faster. This will also get you very satisfactory 1440p gaming performance. But if I had to choose my favorites, I think if you can get a 6700 XT for $300 on the dot, that is the best deal in this price range. Otherwise, save up a bit for the RX 6800, because if it goes on sale below $400, then that 16 gigabyte VRAM buffer is really nice to have in this price range. Now from $400 to $500, I'm gonna be real with you, this is probably the worst price range out of this entire video. There's no standout graphics cards that do very well, but a few of them just kind of under-deliver. Once again, you'll find the RTX 4060 Ti 16 gigabyte in this price range. It's probably gonna receive a really nice discount that could look really appealing to get, but once again, although it's 16 gigabytes, it has the same 128-bit memory bus, and from benchmarks that we've seen comparing the 8GB and 16GB RTX 4060 Ti, there can be a difference, but there also might not be, so that's extra money that may not be used that well, just because again, that small memory bus is really hampering its overall performance, even if there's extra VRAM, which is really unfortunate. But from Team Red in this price range, it's also not too spectacular. Like with the RX 7700 XT, because this isn't a bad graphics card by any means, it just needs to be cheaper. The MSRP for this graphics card is $450, which is too much. It should be $400, like where the RX 6800 is right now, and I expect this graphics card to go on a discount, maybe at lowest $420, but I'm not too crazy about it, because I've already done a comparison video comparing this graphics card and the aforementioned RX 6800, and I like the RX 6800 a little bit better and would only consider the 7700 XT if you're gonna wanna have that AV1 decoder on hand for any game streaming, game recording, or speeding up your video editing in any of your video editing programs. Otherwise, this is kind of an underwhelming graphics card that just needs to be cheaper, and I don't know if we're gonna see that discount this holiday season, so I'm not too crazy about this. So then many of you would think, okay, then why not the RX 6800 XT? Well, this could see a really nice discount. Like if you can get this for $460, then that would make this a very, very good deal, but I don't see it happening. If you guys do, then I think it's a great deal. I only say that because the next graphics card we're gonna cover in the next price bracket is probably AMD's strongest graphics card they've released so far in their RX 7000 lineup. And actually, Nvidia also has a really strong graphics card in that same price range. If I were you, I'd just jump up to one of those two graphics cards from this RX 6800 XT, which we'll get into now. Okay, this next price bracket makes me happy. From about $500 to $600, you can't go wrong with either of these GPU choices, that being either the RTX 4070 or the RX 7800 XT. And coincidentally, these are probably Nvidia and AMD's best graphics cards they've released this generation. I mean, yes, their price to performance may not be as good as cheaper graphics cards, but it's more or less the overall package that you're getting for the price that makes them really well-rounded graphics cards. I say that because of how successful the RX 7800 XT has been. The RTX 4070 has been coming down in price, and some good news I can report on Nvidia's part is that during this October, I did see the 4070 go for as low as $530 brand new, which would make this a pretty appealing choice for an Nvidia graphics card. And I expect the same, if not better, to happen because a lot of people are also going to consider getting the 7800 XT in this same price range. In terms of raw performance, the 7800 XT is going to be the faster graphics card than the 4070, but the 4070 will outperform the 7800 XT in ray tracing, even if it has 12 gigabytes of VRAM. So if you're a gamer who wants to do ray tracing without, destroying your wallet, then the 4070 is gonna be pretty nice, especially if you add on DLSS 3.0 on top of that. And the 7800 XT with 16 gigabytes of VRAM and a lot of strong raw performance is also gonna be a really strong all-around graphics card. So like I said, you can't go wrong with either of these graphics cards in this price range. And personally, for 90% of you watching this video, you don't need to go any crazier than these two graphics cards for your typical PC gaming experience. Oh, and I don't have it here on the table, but I do want to give an honorable mention to the Radeon RX 6950 XT. I know that graphics card is soon coming to the end of its production because they're gonna want to replace it with one of the graphics cards we're about to discuss next. But if you can get one of those for below $600, if you don't care about ray tracing and you don't care about the AV1 codec, you just want raw gaming performance, then picking up a 6950 XT for just below $600 brand new is also going to be a very strong value graphics card. And like I said, if you're a PC gamer who just wants raw performance, that is gonna give you the most bang for your buck in this upper graphics card price range. Now, I only have one box to show you guys because the other one I don't have in the studio right now, but at $600 to $800, you're gonna wanna consider either the RTX 4070 Ti or the Radeon RX 7900 XT. Now, although I don't have it here on the table, I would personally suggest you look at the RX 7900 XT, which is what a lot of you actually agreed on in a recent YouTube community poll, just because at this price range, it features 20 gigabytes of VRAM, whereas the 4070 Ti only comes with 12, which may be fine right now in 2023, but fast forward 2 to 3 years from now when PC games eventually use up more VRAM at higher resolutions and higher textures, this for just about an $800 graphics card could be limiting, which may not be happy to your wallet, like I said, 2 to 3 years from now. Whereas that 7900 XT, I think will fare better because, like I said, it has 20 gigabytes of VRAM. That said, if you're very adamant about doing ray tracing and you're adamant about utilizing DLSS 3.0, then you can only get that on the 4070 Ti. The 7900 XT is gonna do a pretty decent job also for ray tracing, just not as good of a job as the 4070 Ti. But once again, keep in mind that VRAM, because VRAM also plays a part in a graphics card's overall ray tracing performance, and the 7900 XT has a lot more of that than this graphics card. And it's also gonna be cheaper as well. So if you can pick up a 7900 XT for either $750 or below, then I'd absolutely snag that, unless the 4070 Ti just happens to be also on a killer discount for about the same price, then that would be good. Otherwise, I don't see this graphics card getting a big discount, unfortunately. A little bit upsetting, but that's just how it is in this price range. And to finish off the video covering graphics cards from $800 all the way up to $1,000 and above, if you are comfortable spending this much on a graphics card, which honestly for 90% of you watching this video, you don't need anything crazy like this. Like I said, stop at a 4070 or a 7800 XT at $500 because those will be more than satisfactory for the majority of you watching this video. But if you're in that 1% and you just need that absolute most of performance, or if you are like, I don't know, a PC gamer who is anticipating the apocalypse and you want a graphics card that'll last you until the end of time, then the only one I'm comfortable recommending spending just near $1,000 on would just have to be the RX 7900 XT. XTX, not XT. Which I actually just recently polled you guys on YouTube asking if you would pick up this or a 4080 for about $150 more, and a lot of you voted for this, and for good reason. It has the best blend of specifications, performance, features, and pricing at this very expensive premium graphics card category. And a lot of you are really happy with this graphics card, probably because you don't have to spend an extra $600 for this one. I mean, I wouldn't be too happy too. But overall, I think really this is gonna be it. And even though it's an AMD graphics card, it's gonna be still plenty fast, even if you wanted to do stuff that Nvidia is good at doing, like ray tracing, because this still is a $1,000 graphics card and its ray tracing performance is still going to be very excellent, unless you wanted to do path tracing. If you wanted to take advantage of those very exclusive ray tracing experiences only found in Cyberpunk and Alan Wake 2, then that's where it does make sense to invest in a 4090 or 4080, because path tracing is the next step up from ray tracing, and that is where a high-end RTX 4000 graphics card does make sense. Or if you're a professional content creator like me and you are shooting footage at 4K in a compressed H.265 format, and you're gonna be grading this later in DaVinci Resolve, and you're gonna be editing that timeline live with a bunch of different effects and such, then that's where it finally makes sense to get a 4090. But if you're just a gamer wanting to pull your Twitch highlights, cut them up into clips, and repost them on TikTok and YouTube, then an AMD graphics card is more than capable of doing that. Otherwise, you have the Nvidia option here, but you're gonna have to pony up an extra $600 for it, and I don't expect the 4090 or 4080 to go on discount. Well, the 4080 is gonna go on discount, but keep in mind, the 4080 Super is gonna be arriving soon, rumoredly at $1,000 with more VRAM and better performance. So if you're looking at the 4080 specifically, I would hold off from it. Or, better yet, get the 7900 XTX. So there you have it. That is it for today's video. And once again, if you want to check out any of the graphics cards that I just talked about, they're all going to be linked in the description below. And with all that said, thank you so much for watching. And this is the ScatterVolt channel signing out.